Ever feel like someone's watching you? That prickling sensation on the back of your neck when you're all alone? Tonight, we read diving into 5 chilling stories that will make you question every shadow and every creak in the night. These aren't just tales of ghosts and monsters. They're stories that feel terrifyingly real, because they could happen to anyone. So lock your doors, check your windows, and get ready. Our first story is about a young person spending a quiet night at home. The house is silent, except for the usual groans of an old building settling. At least that's what they thought. Then, a distinct creak from the hallway. They freeze, listening. It's probably just the wind, right? But then, a flicker of movement catches their eye. A dark shadow slides under the crack of the bedroom door. Their heart pounds in their chest. They hold their breath, trying not to make a sound. The doorknob slowly begins to turn. Later, police would discover that someone had been watching the house for weeks, learning the schedule, waiting for the perfect moment to not just watch, but to enter. Tonight was that night. Next, picture this: you're a student, heading home on the last bus of the night. It's late, and the bus is nearly empty. You find a seat and put in your headphones, trying to unwind. But you can't relax. You can hear something over your music. A low, raspy whispering coming from the seat directly behind you. You try to ignore it, but then you feel hot breath on your neck. The whispering gets louder, filled with strange, unsettling words. Your skin crawls. As you approach your stop, you get up and walk toward the front. The bus driver catches your eye in the rearview mirror. His expression is grim. He mouths the words, "Tomultak, stay here with me." Just then, flashing blue and red lights surround the bus. The doors hiss open and police officers board. The man sitting behind you is forcefully removed. It turns out he'd been following you for days, and when they searched him, they found a weapon hidden in his coat. The bus driver had noticed his behavior and called for help, saving you from a fate you can't even bear to imagine. Have you ever dared a friend to explore an abandoned place? A group of teenagers did just that, drawn to an old, dilapidated house on the edge of town. Local legends said it was haunted, but they were just looking for a thrill. They pushed open the creaking front door and stepped into the dusty darkness. The air was thick and stale. They explored room after empty room until they found one with a locked door. Curious, they forced it open. What they found inside chilled them to the bone. The walls were covered, floor to ceiling, with photographs. Hundreds of them. Photos of people all over town, going about their daily lives, completely unaware they were being watched. As their eyes scanned the wall of faces, one of them let out a gasp. There, among the strangers, were pictures of them. Pictures taken just last week, sitting at their usual spot in the park. Pictures of them walking to school. Someone had been living in this house, secretly documenting their lives for months. They weren't alone in the house. They had never been alone. Imagine you're on a beautiful hike. The sun is setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. But you took a wrong turn somewhere, and now you're lost. As dusk settles and the forest grows dark, a feeling of unease creeps in. You're not just lost. You feel like you're being followed. You hear it then, a soft crunch of leaves behind you. You stop, and the sound stops. You take a few steps and you hear it again, perfectly in sync with your own footfalls. Your heart hammers against your ribs. It's not an animal. This is deliberate. You try to convince yourself you're imagining things, but the feeling won't go away. Finally, panic takes over and you run. And that's when you hear it clearly, the sound of someone running right behind you, chasing you through the darkened woods. You never see them, but you can feel their presence getting closer. Later, after you've miraculously found your way back to a trail, park rangers would find a makeshift camp deep in the woods, along with evidence suggesting someone had been stalking hikers in that very area for a long time. Our final story takes us to a cheap hotel. The kind you book when you read just passing through and need a place to sleep for the night. A weary traveler checks in, exhausted from a long drive. They lock the door, turn off the lights, and crawl into bed. But sleep doesn't come easy. Sometime after midnight, they're woken up by a strange noise, a soft knocking sound. It's not coming from the door or the window. It sounds like it's coming from inside the wall right next to the bed. They try to ignore it, but then another sound starts, a faint scratching, seemingly from right under the bed. They spend the rest of the night wide-eyed listening to the unsettling symphony of knocks and scratches, too afraid to move. The next morning, they report the noises to the hotel staff. Maintenance is sent to investigate. Behind the drywall of the room, they discover a hidden narrow crawl space. And inside they find a dirty mattress, food wrappers, and clear signs that someone had been living within the walls of the hotel, coming out at night to move through the rooms while the guests were fast asleep. These stories remind us that sometimes the most terrifying things aren't supernatural. They're the hidden dangers that exist just out of sight in the shadows of our everyday lives. So next time you feel that strange sensation of being watched, maybe you are. Thanks for watching. If these stories gave you chills, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more tales from the dark side. Stay safe out there.